So we've got another busy breeding update for you guys. Our vet's going to be coming out and we've got a couple of mares to check. We got to do a pregnancy check on Chica, a heartbeat check on Holly. We need to do a cycle check on Flint and a client's mare. We need to do the full exam on Hank, and we need to redo a full exam on Maple for her owner's insurance paperwork. And we're also going to put in some full alerts on some donkeys. Our vet, Dr. Lawson, checks over Hank, checks his umbilical, checks for the presence of testicles. He also checks heart rate and respiratory rate, looks at his teeth, his eyes, his ears, his legs. We do a little blood draw and run an IgG test. So the IgG test makes sure that they've had enough colostrum from their mom. So that little bottom dot is his immunity. So it's really dark, which means that he's gotten lots of colostrum. Next up, we checked Chica. This was her Preg check, 16 days after her last breeding. She's an absolute saint to do this. She just ate her supper while Trevor checked her.
What do we got here? She is, you said 16?
Yeah.
She could be a day even more than that. I kind of wonder, is that from breed date or ovulation date, you think?
That would have been from her final breed.
Okay.
But she's kind of a floozy.
Right. So
And
she might have held on
right.
to that bred post-ovulation.
Yeah.
I'm wondering. Okay, let me just see.
Because she did have 3 covers. So it could have been anywhere in that window. Tris doesn't need your help.
It looks to me to be a little larger than 16.
Yeah.
So in Foal, a single. Hello there. How are you today?
Making faces. She's like, you smell funny, Trevor.
I find myself a CL, my ovulation center. It might be an extra couple of days old. It looks to me more like an 18.
Yeah.
So I think we should put her down for tail end of next week probably, or maybe like next Saturday, whatever that day would be. Saturday of the Mother's Day weekend maybe.
Okay.
And check her for a fetal heartbeat. Around that
So
window.
she's a bit ahead of schedule.
Yeah, that's how I read her today.
So that little black blobby circle is the baby. It's not a great picture, but it kind of just shows that's the embryo there.
So I'll get you an image of this one, but so what happens when they're right around that 25, 26 day? The fetus itself, she's got one nice CL on the right, so it was a single ovulation, so that ends a beautiful CL. It's a really nice one. You should put a picture of this actually. Let's see.
Key. He's not. And this is Holly's embryo, a little further along than Chica.
I have a CL, there's no question. It's
Okay.
a really nice one. So I'm
we
really
are cycling.
confident that she is cycling now. It's a nice thick one. If I didn't have any history, I'd say it's probably a 7-day CL.
Okay.
So that probably fits pretty good with what we have for kind of details on her. Uterus looks good, nothing to miss there. So I guess the real question is when do we check her next? And I would probably say we're in the 10-day window from now if she had a heat about a week ago.
Yeah.
And see, all right, so 10 days from now would put her down to roughly next Friday, Saturday. So hopefully that would put her coming in like that Monday.
Right.
That would be the window we'd be hoping to maybe catch her. And the semen's coming from where?
BC. So I'll double check on the turnaround time and see what it's like.
Okay.
Donkey full alert time. So Tulip was up first. We made a little shavings bag shoot for her that worked really well and got Trevor out of the kick zone. Good girl. We didn't have to sedate the donkeys at all, which was really good because donkeys don't handle sedation well most times. She only really flinched when the first lidocaine poke went in, and it was pretty minor. We had Poppy there for support, and then Tulip was there for Poppy support. They were great moral support for each other. You can see them just kind of hanging out, doing really good, not stressed at all. They were the best little donks ever.
She's like nurturing her.
She's like, here, I got you. I got you.
Oh, there's a horse behind us now.
So Hank had his full exam and he was a good little patient. He was checked over by our vet from head to tail. Everything looks good. He's good and healthy. His IgG was good and strong, which means he's had a great transfer of immunity from his mom, Rue. She's got some really good milk and gave that to her handsome baby boy. He's been doing fantastic, eating and drinking all day here. He's still struggling to lay down. He sometimes wants to just try to lay down or sleep standing up. And so he'll eventually figure that out. He toppled over last night out of exhaustion. It's hard to navigate those long legs, but he's doing really good. Mama Roo is doing great. So as a little recap, we've got a pregnancy confirmed in Chica. She's got about an 18-day embryo, so she was a little further ahead from where we thought she might be. It just means that she ovulated sooner than expected and stood for the stud after ovulation, which some mares will do. Holly had a strong heartbeat check, so her baby is good, and that's what we like to see. Sometimes you'll lose the embryo before the heartbeat check, so we always like to get there because that's kind of a good milestone. We did a cycle check on our client's mare, and it looks like she might be starting to roll with her cycles now, so we'll be rechecking her probably this weekend. We are also going to be looking at probably rechecking Flint in 10 days. We confirmed that she did cycle last week, probably about 7 days ago, and has a CL, which means that she ovulated, which means that she's rolling. We had planned to breed her on that breeding, but unfortunately found out the stud we were going to breed her to wasn't collecting yet due to an injury, which is unfortunate. Hank here had his full exam and he did great. Passed with flying colors. He's a good, healthy boy. His IgG test was great, which means he's got lots of immunity. As you can tell, he's got lots of energy as well. We also redid an exam on Maple, just for her insurance. You're wild, sir. Oh, there's a wall there. Watch out. And we put the full alerts in the donkeys. So the first 2 full alerts are in. My goodness, sir. You got lots of energy. So yeah. We've got a couple more mares that we'll need to do preg checks on. So we've bred Holly B, Key, and Jazz. Holly B is done, so she's no longer in standing heat. So we're going to count down 2 weeks from her last breed date. Key, we will check tomorrow and see if she's going to stand one more time or if she's done. If she's done, same thing. We'll count down 2 weeks from that breeding date, last breeding date, which was yesterday. And Jazz, we bred again today. It was her second cover, and we will check her again in 2 days to see where she was at. She was very much in heat today, so I imagine she'll probably still be in 2 days. But yeah, so that's where we're at. We've got 2 confirmed in Foal. We've got 4 more we will need to check to see where they're at. So that's Prairie, Key, Holly B, and Jazz. You're wild, sir. And you guys can just be entertained by Hank's foolishness. He's going to get out tomorrow to stretch his legs in the big pen, and we'll get his photos. But yeah, so everyone's doing good. We've got 2 confirmed pregnancies, which is great. It's our stallion's first year, so that's always reassuring to know that he can get the ladies in their first cycles. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And I think Hank's tuckered himself out. Probably trying to sleep over there in the corner now.